From the shadows of history, the mystical lands of legends, and the brave spirits of warriors, whispers the name of a hero, Ragnar Lothbrok. But who was this Ragnar? A king, a legend, or a hero lost in the dusty pages of history? Ragnar Lothbrok is not just a name, but also a symbol of legend, bravery, and exploration. A figure frequently debated among historians and storytellers, a hero where reality and mythology intertwine. The man who stirred the calm waters of the West into storms, made kingdoms tremble, and remembered as one of the greatest warriors of the Viking era. However, Ragnar's story isn't just about battles and conquests. It's also an epic tale of love, brotherhood, and revenge. Ragnar's life opens a window into the courageous world of the Vikings, showing us how legends are born and heroes are made. We're diving deep into the legendary journey of Ragnar Lothbrok. Join us on this adventure where heroism meets mythology, and discover the secrets, achievements, and enduring legacy of Ragnar in the Viking world. Before we embark on this legendary adventure, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Are you ready? Let's get started. Under the chilling winds, in the land of deep forests and vast fjords, a child is born, Ragnar Lothbrok. But what kind of childhood does this future king have? In the land of warriors, how is a hero shaped? Young Ragnar learns to hunt and fight alongside his father, gaining not just physical strength, but also intelligence and cunning. From his childhood, he shows signs of becoming an extraordinary leader. However, to become a true warrior, he must pass certain tests. Ragnar becomes known not just for his physical strength, but also for his smart strategies and innovative tactics. At a young age, he stands out as a leader among Viking warriors. This was just the beginning. Ragnar Lothbrok's rise, his journey to becoming one of the greatest heroes of the Vikings, started here, in this small village, on these harsh lands. And now, from the mists of prehistory, a legend rises. Would you like to witness the birth of a legend? In Viking lands, the royal throne was not only inherited through nobility, but also earned through personal virtues and acts of heroism. In this sacred ground, where courage, leadership, and intelligence were forged with iron and fire, the heirs to the throne were determined not just by blood, but also by powerful and wise deeds. Ragnar emerged as one of the most splendid representatives of this ancient tradition. His rise to the throne was not just a simple fight, it was an epic of deep strategies, wisely formed alliances, and cleverly managed battles. On his path to becoming king, Ragnar relied not only on the sharpness of his sword, but also on the brilliance of his mind. He defeated his enemies not just on the battlefields, but also in the dark corridors of intrigue. As a master in the complex power games of Viking society, he eliminated his rivals one by one and climbed to the pinnacle of sovereignty. Ragnar's crowning as king was more than just a duel. It was a triumph of his leadership skills, his successes on the battlefield, and his mastery in winning the hearts of his people. This epic rise made him not just a ruler, but also a hero who would live on in the legends of Viking society. When Ragnar Lothbrok ascended the throne as the king of the Vikings, he not only pushed the boundaries of the north, but also marked the beginning of a new era in history. His reign ushered in an age of bravery and adventure. His legendary expeditions to the west were not just pivotal for the Vikings, but also for the entire fate of Europe. One of Ragnar's most famous raids was his assault on France in 845. With a fleet resembling a dragon army of 120 Viking ships, he sailed up the Seine River, reaching the gates of Paris. This was more than a mere raid. It was a display of strategic genius. By besieging Paris, Ragnar forced King Charles of France to pay a ransom. 7,000 pounds of silver was the price of this legendary siege. This event showcased to all of Europe that the Vikings were not just barbarians from the north, but a formidable force to be reckoned with. Ragnar is also synonymous with the first Viking raid on England. The attack on the Lindisfarne Monastery in 793 sent shockwaves across Europe. This raid marked the beginning of large-scale Viking assaults on Christian Europe. Under Ragnar's leadership, the Vikings spread throughout England, looting rich monasteries and exerting pressure on local kingdoms. These expeditions deeply disrupted the political landscape in England, eventually leading to a permanent Viking presence in the country. Ragnar's campaigns left deep marks on European history. The raids on France and England reshaped the defense policies of these nations. They also played a significant role in spreading Viking culture and trade throughout Europe. Ragnar's campaigns left deep marks on European history. The raids on France and England reshaped the defense policies of these nations. They also played a significant role in spreading Viking culture and trade throughout Europe. Ragnar's courage and achievements fueled the Viking spirit of warriorship and exploration. His legacy permanently altered the Vikings' role in European history. Ragnar Lothbrok was a legendary hero who wrote epics on the crimson pages of war. Every step of his was as enchanting as the epic tales whispered in legends of heroism. His tactical intelligence on the battlefield, pioneering leadership qualities, and innovative maneuvers transformed him into a warrior who transcended the limits of his time. In the dusty arena of war, Ragnar stunned his enemies with innovative tactics, securing their unexpected defeats. His strategic genius was filled with raids that silently penetrated enemy lines, deceptive retreats that lured the enemy into traps, and complex maneuvers that shattered enemy forces. These methods were a revolution in the art of war, far ahead of their time. Ragnar's leadership was extraordinary in its ability to keep his warriors united as a clenched fist, even in the toughest moments, and lead them to the heights of victory. He was not just a commander, but also a muse that left deep imprints on the souls of his warriors. By risking himself at the forefront of battle, he cemented feelings of loyalty and trust among his fighters. Guided by the light of his courage and determination, Ragnar pushed his crew to achieve the impossible. In the realm of battlefield strategy and techniques, Ragnar also introduced innovative changes. He advanced the design of Viking ships, making them more agile and faster. Thanks to this innovation, Viking fleets could sail across broader seas and were in an excellent position for unexpected raids. In training his warriors, he showed great care in maximizing their personal skills and achieving perfect harmony in team spirit. Ragnar Lothbrok echoed through the battlefields as a timeless warrior and leader, making his name unforgettable throughout history with the innovations he brought to Viking martial arts. Ragnar Lothbrok's story isn't just limited to his own achievements. It also encompasses a vast family saga, woven together with his wives and children. This epic family left deep marks in the Viking world, impacting not only their own era, but also generations to come. Through his children, born from his powerful and determined wives Lagertha, Aslaug, and Thora, Ragnar's legacy lived on. His sons, such as Ivar the Boneless, Bjorn Ironside, Sigurd Snake in the Eye, Hvitserk, and Ubi, carried their father's name with their own deeds of bravery, leadership, and conquest. Ragnar's sons led significant expeditions that shaped the Viking world. Particularly, Ivar and Bjorn continued their father's journey of conquest, planting the Viking flag across Europe. Ivar stood out in the Viking conquests of England with his military strategy and ruthlessness, while Bjorn ventured into the Mediterranean, reaching the farthest lands ever by the Vikings. These children, inheriting their father's courage and quest for adventure, solidified the Vikings' place in history. The legacy of Ragnar and his descendants deeply influenced Viking culture and literature. Their stories, told across generations, became symbols of heroism, leadership, and the spirit of exploration among Viking communities. Ragnar's family left a legacy reflecting the warrior spirit, the zeal for exploration, and their loyalty to their community. Ragnar's legacy shows that Vikings were not just feared warriors, but also great leaders, explorers, and storytellers. This timeless legacy, a lineage alive in legends, continues to inspire. If you've watched the video this far and liked it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Now let's continue with the legendary story of Ragnar Lothbrok, focusing on the Viking king's final moments. Ragnar Lothbrok's death marks a turning point in Viking history and literature, not the end of a legend, but the herald of a new beginning. His last expedition, leading to his capture by King Olaf of England, ended with Ragnar being thrown into a pit of snakes, a tale of torture and death according to legend. Yet, even this brutal end couldn't diminish his courage and warrior spirit. Facing death, he uttered defiant words, showing the world that Vikings didn't fear death, but welcomed it as a victory. Ragnar's death was not just the end of his own story, but also the beginning of a new era for his sons and the Vikings. Upon hearing of their father's demise, his sons gathered a formidable army to avenge him, initiating one of the largest Viking invasions of England. Thus, Ragnar Lothbrok's death opened a new chapter in Viking history. His death serves as an example of how an immortal hero is created and how a legend is kept alive through generations. Although our video ends here, Ragnar Lothbrok's story will live on forever. For as long as we remember him, his spirit continues to roam among us. He was a warrior who shaped his own destiny, empowering us to write our story with courage. What will your story be? Ragnar's legacy invites you to create your own legend. To embark on your adventure, listen to this call and start writing your own saga. And now I have a question for you. Following in Ragnar's brave footsteps, what new horizons will you sail to in your life? Take care and see you in the next video.